Good morning, West Bloomfield. Good morning, Troy. Good morning, Birmingham. Good morning, Pontiac. Good morning, Kegel Harbor and Sylvan Lake. Good morning, Commerce Township. Good morning, all of Macomb County. Good morning, well, most of Macomb County. Good morning to you wherever you happen to be, maybe in Beverly Hills or Franklin. Wherever you are in our service area in Oakland County, it's awful good to have you on board. It is another edition of the Megacast. So what is a Megacast? A Megacast is not a radio broadcast, not simply a radio broadcast. That's part of it. It's not simply a television broadcast. It's not simply a podcast. It is all of the above and more. We bring together 3 great radio stations, 2 fantastic municipal television outlets, the Facebook page of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce today along with us, and a whole lot more to bring you the very latest COVID-19 information going on right here in Oakland County and in our areas. It all started out in West Bloomfield, and now we've expanded across much of Oakland County, and we couldn't do it without, of course, you fine people that are tuning in today. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, my name is Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe will be here in our studio in just a couple of minutes, and we will also be joined by Erica Jones, who will be heading out to the first press conference that Oakland County has held in person since this whole fiasco has started. So just by way of orientation, if you're tuning in on TV on Channel 15 and in the Birmingham Area Municipal Access Service area, the Civic Center TV service area, you can see us sitting in our Lakes FM radio studio. So this is radio on television. We ask you to understand some of the abnormalities, not your normal television broadcast. But we thank you very much for being here. We also thank you for tuning in on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, WAHS, 89.5 Avondale Community Radio. And we invite you today to go to civiccentertv.com. We're going to spend a lot of time there, a lot of new helpful information, in particular from the state of Michigan after yesterday's press conference with the governor, where she laid out with the University of Michigan this really great new initiative called the Michigan Safe Start Map. And we're going to take a look at that online and go through how that can be helpful to you in a little bit in the program. Unfortunately, as you probably know by watching the news over the past 24 hours, not just here in Oakland County, not just here in Michigan, not just here in the Detroit area, not just in the United States, but all over the world, everyone is talking about that quote-unquote joke that the governor's husband made, asking a marina in northern Michigan to move their move up in the line to getting their boat in the water at their northern Michigan cottage, getting their boat and dock in the water. So, unfortunately, we'll have to deal with that one a little bit today, too, because it is unfortunately, the biggest news headline of the day on the Michigan coronavirus front. So we will get to that and share with you the quote that virtually everybody missed. I saw it in a couple of different outlets, but most of the people missed that quote. And I promise you we're not going to dwell on it, though. We'll report it, we'll go to it, we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to move on and get to the more important stories of the day that relate to you being able to take care of yourself, take care of your family, open up your business, and to survive and thrive, in fact, during the COVID-19 crisis. So with all that, speaking of surviving and thriving during the crisis, this guy's been so helpful to us and has had amazing, very helpful information. He's Joe Bauman, the president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. And if I hit this button right here, we see him live via Zoom. Hey, Joe, welcome back to the show. I don't think Joe is hearing me right now. So we got a little technical glitch. No big surprise. This happens every once in a while with Zoom. So we're going to get Joe all connected. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you very much for tuning into the Megacast on Civic Center TV and all of our other outlets. Tyler's in the studio. He can hit the buttons, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Medical Director for the Oakland County Health Division. Coronavirus disease 2019, or COVID-19, is a new disease caused by a new respiratory virus named SARS-CoV-2. COVID-19 was first identified in December 2019. There is currently no vaccine to prevent coronavirus disease 2019. The best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after going to the bathroom, before eating, and after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces using a regular household cleaning spray or wipe. Avoid close contact with people who are sick, and avoid touching your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Finally, stay home when you're sick. For more information about coronavirus disease 2019, go to oakgov.com/health or call 1-800-848-5533.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jonae Caldoun. We know that COVID-19 is spreading rapidly across Michigan right now. The most important thing people can do to protect themselves is social distancing. That means unless you are a critical infrastructure worker or going out to get food or medicine for your home, you should be staying at home. Stay home, stay safe, save lives.
Hi, my name is Kurt Lawson, and I'm the Public Information Officer for West Bloomfield Township. We wanted to reach out to you, our older adults, to provide information that you may find useful during this difficult time. We want to ensure you that West Bloomfield Town Hall, our Waters and Utility Department, West Bloomfield Parks, and our police and fire departments continue to work hard on your behalf. Information and resources can be found on the Township website, the police Facebook and Twitter, or call West Bloomfield Park's COVID-19 Help Hotline. Please remember to keep your social distance of at least 6 feet, wear facial coverings when you leave your home, and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap. These precautions will help keep you safe during these difficult times.
Hi, I'm Dr. Faust, the Medical Director for the Oakland County Health Division. The most important thing you can do to prevent the spread of illness is to wash your hands thoroughly and often. Follow these 6 easy steps every time you wash your hands. Step 1, turn on the sink and wet your hands with warm water. Step 2, apply soap to your hands and lather between your fingers, under your nails, and the front and back of your hands and wrists. Step 3, wash your hands by scrubbing them together for at least 20 seconds. Step 4, rinse your hands with warm, clean water. And step 5, dry your hands with a clean cloth towel, a paper towel, or hot air blow dryer. If you're using a cloth towel, make sure to change it often. For handheld faucets, turn off the water using a paper towel instead of your bare hand. Step 6, if you're using a paper towel, throw it away. Practice healthy habits like washing your hands after coughing or sneezing into them to keep you and others healthy. Go to oakgov.com/health or call Nurse on Call at 1-800-848-5533 to learn more.
All right. Welcome back. It is the Megacast. We're having a couple of technical difficulties. We're going to try to get Joe Bauman on the phone here in a couple of minutes. He's the president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Later on in the program, we're going to talk to Reverend Dr. Charles Packer, the senior minister of the Pine Hill Congregational Church, and talk about his church and see how things are going there with services in this time. We're going to talk to a dentist. Dentist offices are starting to open up. We're going to check in with one of our area dentists. We're also going to check in with a car dealership that has opened up. Regina Woodward, sales manager at Newcomb's Auto Sales in Auburn Hills. And later on in the program, U.S. Representative Andy Levin, Congressman Levin from Michigan's 9th District, will join us right here on the Megacast. So a good show lined up for you today. Also, tons of news headlines. We're going to take a look today at the Michigan Safe Start Map, a new map that is put out with information from the University of Michigan and the state of Michigan. Very, very handy, very cool. So we're going to get that going for you today and take a look at that. The malls are scheduled to open, and that means 12 Oaks Mall for our folks in the western side of our coverage area, Somerset Mall for people in Troy, and all the other malls as they get ready to service those stores. Now, retail has opened up, of course, here in Michigan, and in our area, very limited retail. So you got appointments, up to 10 people in the stores, but at least retail has opened here in Michigan. So the malls are going to be opening up. Makes sense. Yesterday on the show, we identified even before the governor said it, that you no longer, this is big, you no longer need a prescription to get a test. So that is really good news. You can get your COVID-19 test without a prescription. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. And then I also heard yesterday, as we're working on some things in the background, I also heard yesterday that that the accuracy of some of the testing has really come into question, and in particular the antibody test. I heard some reports that those tests are maybe accurate half of the time, so we'll chat on that a little bit. Totally unrelated to coronavirus, on my news headlines for today, they say Kwame is not getting out of jail, and we are actually going to have the first launch, if the weather is good, the SpaceX launch down in Florida. It's going to be the very first domestic launch in over 9 years. So has nothing to do with COVID-19, but tough news for Kwame. Great news if you are into space. So I believe we have corrected most of our technical issues. We're going to take another 30-second time out, and we will be right back, one way or another, with Joe Bauman, the president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. This is the Megacast. We'll be right back.
Technology like smartphones are wonderful devices to reduce social isolation in older adults. You can call grandchildren, phone friends, participate in fitness classes, and play games. But you need to stay mindful of scams. Scams related to the COVID-19 virus are rising. These include attempts to obtain personal information from seniors, including pitching unreliable products, advice, tests, and cures. You need to stay vigilant and be cautious. If you feel that you have been taken advantage of, it's okay for you to reach out to somebody you know and seek out advice, or even contact your medical provider. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. It is a Megacast. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe here in our Lakes FM studios. Tyler, it's 2 days in a row we've had to scramble technically. You know, and it's not easy, even with all the bubble gum and paper clips, to get all of these radio and TV stations.
I think that the technology just wants to test our commitment to the Megacast, and we're meeting the challenge.
All right, enough being grumpy. Let's get on. Hey, here is Joe Bauman, president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. And Joe, I got you on the phone and I got you on Zoom. So let's try Zoom here. We'll see how that goes. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Okay, we can hear you really good on Zoom, and I love the background. I assume you are in your office, but I see downtown Birmingham and the nostalgic, wonderful sign of the Birmingham Theater behind you.
Yes, pining for the future for sure.
All right, so let's just start off. We got a lot of news to get to today, obviously, but let's just start off. How are things going in Birmingham and your service area?
Well, as you mentioned on the air earlier, we do have retail slowly reopening in a very limited fashion, so we're excited about that. It's really what we're focusing on right now is helping our members, those that have been allowed to open in a limited basis, and as importantly, those who are still waiting in the service industry and general business on what the new normal is going to look for a while. And we're telling all of our members is to try to make this as smooth a transition as possible. They need to prepare and communicate. They need to prepare as to how they're going to serve the public in this new realm. And then more importantly, they need to communicate that to their customers. It's critically important that all businesses, whether you're a retail shop, a restaurant when they reopen, a shoe store, they need to communicate using all of their measures that they have with their customers, whether it be their CRM, whether it be social media, whether it be an email campaign. They need to lay out in detail as to what the shopping experience is going to be ahead of time. So when they do get people coming to their stores, they're not confused, they're not surprised, they're not disappointed, and that we're urging everybody who's going to be visiting them to be patient. This is a new frontier. And so having, it on your website, what the shopping experience is going to look, taste, and feel like is going to be really important to make this a successful restart.
Well, Joe, no question about it. Thank you for your thoughts. And clearly you're putting a lot of work and putting a lot of thought into making all this happen. Talk a little bit about your sense of community, because really that's what Birmingham is all about. And you think about downtown Birmingham, you think about our other downtowns, downtown Rochester, and I could go on and on. I don't want to leave any out. And then you think about Somerset Mall and you think about 12 Oaks Mall. These are shopping communities. So is that part of the dynamic of this all too, Joe, to make sure the entire shopping community is coming together and all of it opening up, or at least as much as possible?
Absolutely. We're strategizing with the city of Birmingham as to, at some point, are we going to have a reopening event? The problem is that, many of the stores downtown still, while they're starting to reopen, it's by appointment only. The restaurants obviously are still closed to in-restaurant dining, which is a huge part of downtown Birmingham. So it's kind of hard. I think people would love us to just have a big ribbon cutting in the middle of downtown Birmingham and say, everything's open, everything's ready to go, but that's just not going to be the case. So if you're thinking about going to one of your favorite stores, call ahead, find out what their situation is, find out what their rules are, make sure to bring a mask with you. We're still doing the masks, we're still doing social distancing, and really we're just, wanting people to be patient. But downtown Birmingham is the downtown for our entire service area. Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township, Beverly Hills, Bingham Farms, even Franklin. I think the residents there consider Birmingham to be their downtown. So, and people are missing that. They're missing an opportunity to gather and use the parks and really enjoy what's going to, now is upon us the summer season.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as the original mall. Before there were malls, we all went to, I'm old enough to remember, we all went to downtown Birmingham. I grew up in West Bloomfield, and none of this stuff was around here that's here now. And, we would go to downtown Birmingham and shop. So it's really good to see things opening up in Birmingham, and what you're doing and working on is relevant to all of our other communities as they work, and even right down to every single little strip mall across our service area, trying to get things back up and running. Just a quick glimpse in the future. I was in northern Michigan over the weekend, and it was good to see and walk into retail establishments. Our future is going to be good. It is going to work, but it is going to be a little bit different. So I know you're going to be working with your retailers to make that happen. But I saw it. I saw it last weekend, and I know we can manage it. I think we probably can manage it right now, but that's a matter for another day. We'll let that one go. Joe Bauman is with us, president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. Joe, you've been so good over the past couple of months talking about some of the economic programs that are available. How are people in your area, and anything you can talk to folks across all of Oakland County as to how to continue to manage these PPP loans and other financial programs that are available to help businesses?
Sure. So the information we're getting from our friends in Washington and at the state of Michigan is the second round of the PPP loan process went much more smoothly than the first round. Many more small businesses were able to actually obtain one of the loans, and then with the potential of being forgiven. What's happening now is we're really kind of shifting into phase two, that those businesses that were successful in round one and got their money early, they're bumping up against that 8-week period where they needed to use those funds. And then depending on how they use them, they're now in the forgiveness phase. And so it's really important for a business, if you did receive a PPP loan, to make sure to contact your lender, find out what your deadline is for filing the forgiveness paperwork, because that's going to be even more important than getting the loan itself, because obviously, we want our businesses to get as many of those loans turned into grants as they can. The other thing that I wanted to mention, I want to give a shout out to Oakland County on two measures. You had mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the governor loosened the restrictions for obtaining a test, whether it be an antibody test or a COVID test. Oakland County has really stepped up, and they are making both tests available to all county residents without a prescription, without symptoms, and at no charge. They have 3 service areas that they're using. One is in Pontiac, one is in Southfield, and one is in Novi. Any resident can call, make an appointment, go and get a test, and there's no cost, there's no billing of your insurance, it's totally free. The other thing that the county did is they've used a portion of the money they received from the CARES Act, and they have given about $14 million in direct grants to local small businesses. I was fortunate to sit on one of the loan committees for the district that incorporates our service area, and I know, how important that was to some of our members to receive those grants. And I understand that there may be a third phase coming down the pipe. I know there's a press conference today. I'm not sure if that's what it's about, but we're hearing that it's very likely there will be a third round of grants available to small businesses in Oakland County. So I really want to give kudos to our county leaders for being so forward-thinking.
Joe, I agree. I think Dave Coulter's team's doing a really good job up at the county offices, and the programs you've talked about, we've been talking about here on the Megacast. In addition, there are additional dollars that have come from the federal government to counties. Some of those dollars are going to go to help. In Oakland County, they've decided some of those dollars are going to help the municipalities, and some of those dollars are going to continue to go out to businesses. So the grant program that they started, that was very, very small, has grown once, is going to grow even more. And, stupid me, I figured, well, why apply for this thing, because it isn't going to be much money. And you know what? That was a wrong move.
I remember we had that conversation earlier.
Said, hey, Joe, what's the point? It's it's going to be gone in 10 minutes. And the first round was, but just when these things become available, take advantage of them. Don't be a dummy like me. The press conference, we'll be covering it live, and if you want to see it, we cannot broadcast it live today, but we will have it on our website later on this afternoon, or Erica Jones is going to head out to the county. It's going to be their very first in-person press conference since the coronavirus outbreak. So that in itself will be interesting. They're going to be talking about new business opening kits that the county's going to make available, up to 10,000 of them. So as you're getting ready to open your business and you need some additional resources, you might as well go to the county site, because they have fantastic information on the steps you need to take to open up your business. But now they're going to put together these kits. That's the main thinking behind the press conference today. We'll be there. We'll report it. Erica Jones will be in here in a couple of minutes. And I wouldn't be too surprised to hear somebody ask Dave or Executive Coulter about some of these additional programs that you're talking about, Joe, to help out businesses. So Oakland County has been doing as good of a job. Everyone, even those criticized, have been working really hard to make this whole thing happen. So, I'm not going to pick on anyone. No reason to jump on that bandwagon. There's plenty of people picking on people already, but I want to give kudos to everyone, every first responder, every elected official, folks like you, Joe, that are doing a good job working with businesses. And, this hasn't been easy. Get some things right, you get some things wrong. We're working together to make it the best we can. Joe Bauman, president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. Joe, I could talk to you every day. It's really good to chat with you today. Anything else you want to add before we have to run along?
Thank you. I do want to give a plug to the Chamber. So we were talking a moment ago about, the loan forgiveness part of the PPP. We do have a webinar at 11 a.m. Featuring one of our great chamber partners, the CPA firm of Fenner, Mellstrom, and Dooling. One of their partners is going to be doing a tutorial on what businesses need to do to prepare for that loan forgiveness phase. There's no charge. It's open to everybody. Just go to our website, ebcc.com, and you'll find the link to join the webinar. That's at 11 a.m. It's going to be great information. And again, we've just been focused on trying to keep our members and the entire community educated, informed, and up to date. And that's, has really continues to be our focus. So I want to thank you again for giving me the opportunity to be on this morning. This is one of the ways we do it, and we really appreciate it.
Hey, Joe, back at you. Don't schedule your events during my show, though, ever again. We're going to have to... No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's going to be taped, because there'll be thousands of people tuning into the Megacast that won't be able to tear themselves away. But, no, we hope you go to the website. And a huge thanks, in all seriousness, to the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber for putting us on your Facebook page today. Is greatly appreciated. We always reach a lot of people. Thank you, Joe. Keep up the good work. Let's keep in touch, and we're getting closer we are getting closer to that day where you and I are going to go out for a beer in downtown Birmingham. So
one day soon, the governor's not going to say just a couple more weeks.
I feel the day is coming close. Maybe fortunately, I don't know more than 10 people, so it's pretty easy to put together a little gathering, but we'll do it soon, Joe. Thank you very much.
All right.
He is Joe Bauman, great guy, and working so hard. President of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. When we return, Reverend Dr. Charles A. Packer, the senior minister of the Pine Hill Congregational Church in West Bloomfield, also adjunct professor at the Theology Seminary of Detroit. We're going to check in with him in just a couple of minutes, find out how things are going at his church and maybe your church, synagogue, or place of worship as well. It's the Megacast, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. Our top priority remains slowing the spread of COVID-19 in our communities. Please stay home, and when you must go out to an essential business, take precautions like social distancing and washing your hands when you come home. Because of the pandemic, we are behind in our response rate in Michigan. While you are home, please take a few minutes to fill out the census. It is more important than ever that we receive money back from our federal government. The census is Oakland Together.
I know you're concerned about the coronavirus, and we're working hard to combat its spread and keep your family safe. But we need your help too. Wash your hands often with soap for at least 20 seconds. Avoid touching your face and cough into your sleeve. Replace handshakes with an elbow bump. Avoid large crowds or events, and if you're sick, stay home and call your health provider. Every one of us can make a difference limiting the virus's spread and keeping Michigan healthy.
Good morning and welcome to the Megacast. Dave Scott in our Lakes FM radio studios. We're radio folks, so those of you watching on TV, we ask that you understand we're doing the very best we can. Tyler, he's pretty good on TV. When you put your tie on and come on over here and you sit in the big chair, you do a really nice job.
Oh, when the tie comes on, it's serious.
It's all business.
All bets are off.
Thank you for joining us on 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 WBFH The Biff in Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham, 89.5 Avondale Community Radio. And also our television outlets, Birmingham Area Municipal Access and Civic Center TV. You can find both of those on Channel 15 on Comcast. You go to Channel 99 on Comcast, Channel 99 on AT&T, you'll find us. Just go to the community television area and hit some of the channels, and you'll find us in there somewhere. It's really easy to do. I make it sound complicated. You can go to the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. We are on Facebook Live, and it's amazing, Tyler, how many people watch us on Facebook Live every day. Maybe more than on TV. It's crazy. And then we also invite you to go to civiccentertv.com and watch us online. Later on in the show, we're going to get to the most fundamental of stories. You know, it's easy to cover the governor's husband and all that other stuff, but we're going to make sure that we help you clean your house. Tyler, you don't seem to be overwhelmed by that story today.
I think you have another meaning in there that I'm not catching.
No, I thought I knew everything I needed to do to clean my house, and during this COVID-19 crisis, and I was wrong. So
now I'm curious.
We will have all the tips that you need coming up later on in the show. Erica Jones, our new reporter here, will also be heading up to the Oakland County offices. They have a press conference coming up later on today, and we will be there with a complete report. She'll tell us what to expect in a couple of minutes. Don't go away. So we have a very busy schedule today. We'll get to our news headlines in just a couple of minutes. I need these readers to introduce our next guest. He is Reverend Dr. Charles A. Packer, Senior Minister of the Pine Hill Congregational Church in West Bloomfield, an adjunct professor at the Ecumenical Theological Seminary of Detroit. Reverend Packer, that's a lot of multi-syllable words right there. Fortunately, I've been doing this for a while. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Megacast today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's awful good to have you, and we are seeing more and more congregations open up. Tell us what's going on at Pine Hill Congregational Church.
Well, we have been, like many churches and faith communities in general in the area since mid to late March been holding our services regularly online. And we did a few, we tried a few things, and we ended up using Zoom by Holy Week. And so for April 5th through the 12th, beginning with Palm Sunday, concluding with Easter, we were able to have full services online. We continued to listen to the reports from the governor, from the CDC, and we also continued to extend our suspension of in-person activities. This May, we've really begun doing more online that we would have done in person in previous weeks and months. We just finally figured we don't know how long this is going to go on, and we don't want to just not be active. And we're a very active church in the community and in general, and we wanted to resume activities even if they weren't in person. So we've continued to do that online, adding a book discussion, doing regular meetings, and then continuing to hold weekly Sunday morning worship services. We did make the decision, our Board of Trustees made the decision in mid-May that because of a lot of the uncertainties, we were just going to make the decision that unless something radically changed, we got new information that made a significant difference, that we would continue the suspension of activities through at least July 1st. So right now, we are not holding any in-person services or programs at the West Bloomfield location, and everything that we're doing is online.
All right. Well, I want to applaud you for doing a great job making all the technology work and staying in touch with your congregation. Not easy. And in particular, annually, we work together with you to put on a Memorial Day broadcast, and you do a wonderful Memorial Day service. This year we did it online. Tyler, you could tell me more about how all that went.
Went very well.
All right, well, there you go. Simple. Man, a few words, Tyler Keefe. He went very well. Yeah. So we were able to honor our servicemen and women, and we appreciate you doing that and making that all work online, too.
Well, thank you, and I want to give credit to Chris Cooper, and he and his family have been long supporters of the Pine Lake Cemetery Memorial Day service, and really he brought the idea to me when he heard that we were not going to be doing an in-person service. We just, again, all of the uncertainty, we didn't want to plan and then have to cancel it all. And he really came up with the idea and made the technology work, and it was really a privilege to work with him and with Mary Bem with the Cemetery Association.
So what advice would you give to other leaders in our area, other religious leaders in our area, different denominations, different churches and synagogues, they're all handling this different. Archdiocese of Detroit comes out and opens up. You're staying closed for right now. And there's a lot of others that are on both sides of the fence here. You want to talk about your decision and any feedback that you would give other religious leaders in our area who may be tuning in?
Well, there's no question. I think in most faith communities, it's certainly true with Pine Hill, we miss each other. We miss seeing each other. We miss being in that proximity that brings warmth and renews friendship and sustains relationship, which is one of the reasons that we went to Zoom and not another platform, because it just was really important for our folks that they be able to see one another on a regular basis. That may or may not be as important to other faith communities, and there are practicalities involved in every decision with regard to what technology to choose and engage. But we definitely wanted to see each other. We wanted to be as much a community as we could virtually. We want to be together, but we also have just really discussed the implications of the coronavirus, and we don't want to be a faith community that is one of those, like in the news, where there has been an outbreak resulting from various meetings or choir rehearsals, that sort of thing. We don't want to be in that position or to foster that. And so it's important for us to find a way to be together, but it's also critically important that we make sure that everyone is healthy and safe, and we are not perpetuating something negative in the broader community. That's very, very important to us. We want to protect our folks. We want to protect the community as much as we're able to do so and make an impact on that. So that really has guided our decisions. We're taking the month of June to really look at whenever it is that we discern prayerfully that it's the right thing to do to reopen our building for events. What do we need to do? What do we need to have in place? And we have a member of the trustees has done a tremendous job, put in many hours of research and looked at all of the best practices and best advice that's out there. And so we're going to take June and really study that, look at the list, change things, add things to it. And we're also going to be in touch with members of the congregation and see when they would feel comfortable coming back. Are they ready? What would they need to see in order to be comfortable? Right. So we're taking a lot of wisdom from a lot of sources.
Reverend Packer, you are being deliberate about your decision making, and it's hard, and I applaud you. The simple thing I think would be to just open up, but you're being careful, judicious, and prudent, and we applaud you, and I thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us today. Really good to partner with you again on the memorial service at the Pine Hill Cemetery, and I'm really glad that you're doing well. Please express our thoughts and wishes to your congregation, and we thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast today.
Thank you very much.
All right. He is Reverend Dr. Charles Packer, and he is the senior minister of the Pine Hill Congregational Church in West Bloomfield and also adjunct professor at the Ecumenical Theological Seminary of Detroit. Tyler, the easy thing, I think in some cases, just to open up, really. So it's a little bit harder to say no to those that want to get back to church, that you're going to have to wait a little while. We're gonna make sure we're doing this in a safe way.
Especially when there's other similar places, so to speak, in terms of houses of worship that are opening and are going back to in-person services. You can feel a sense of pressure maybe from just the status quo of other similar places of worship being reopened, and even possibly internal pressure from your congregation or from your parish or whatever it may be to reopen, and to make those decisions prudently and strategically is really important.
All right. It's kind of dark over on your side. Let me just check this. See how bright it is over on my side of the look. It's kind of dark. Maybe you can fix that. But we'll do that when we go to a break. We have a lot to get to news-wise, and we have some time to do that in the next couple of minutes. We are also going to check in with Dr. Adam Fienman, a dentist. Dentist offices are starting to open up. That's good news. We're going to check in with Regina Woodward, the sales manager at Newcomb's Auto Sales in Auburn Hills, as you can now set an appointment to get into your auto dealership. And Congressman Andy Levin joins us later on in the broadcast. I've met the other members of the Levin family. I've not had the pleasure of chatting with Andy Levin, so we will talk to him, our U.S. representative from the 9th District, which covers a big swath of Oakland County. So those are our guests. Lots of news. We're going to take a look at what you need to do to make sure how to effectively clean up your home. And different surfaces require different strategies. We have Erica Jones checking in here in the next couple of minutes. We can get her in here sooner than later, Tyler. And we will talk to her about a press conference coming up in Oakland County. They're going to have 10,000 kits for businesses that are going to be reopening, and some helpful information there. We'll talk about the other big stories of the day, too, and take a look at the Michigan Safe Start map and hear the words of the governor yesterday that put her on news reports all around the world, unfortunately. That and more coming up. It is a Megacast. I'm Dave Scott. He's Tyler Keefe. Thank you for tuning in on great television outlets, Civic Center TV, Birmingham area television, and 3 fine radio stations, Lakes FM in West Bloomfield, The Biff in Bloomfield Hills, and 89.5 Avondale Community Radio in the Auburn Hills area. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jonay Khaldun. I'm the Chief Medical Executive for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The people who are at highest risk of getting severely ill from COVID-19 are the elderly and those with chronic medical conditions. That includes people with heart disease, diabetes, COPD, or those who have compromised immune systems. People who are in those categories should right now be staying at home as much as possible and not going out if it is not essential. If you fit into one of those categories, those are the things you should do. And if you have a family member who fits into one of those categories, you should be checking in on them and making sure they are following those guidelines. There's something everyone can do to protect the community from COVID-19. Hi, I'm Dr. Jonae Caldoun. We know that COVID-19 is spreading rapidly across Michigan right now. The most important thing people can do to protect themselves is social distancing. That means unless you are a critical infrastructure worker or going out to get food or medicine for your home, you should be staying at home. Stay home, stay safe, save lives.
Hi, I'm Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. Our top priority remains slowing the spread of COVID-19 in our communities. Please stay home, and when you must go out to an essential business, take precautions like social distancing and washing your hands when you come home. Because of the pandemic, we are behind in our response rate in Michigan. While you are home, please take a few minutes to fill out the census. It is more important than ever that we receive money back from our federal government. The census is Oakland Together.
The Centers for Disease Control and Oakland County Health Division encourages households to prepare for the possibility of a coronavirus outbreak in their community. Keep extra items in your house for an extended stay at home. Remember any special food items for babies, the elderly, and pets. Keep non-prescription drugs and other health supplies on hand, such as personal medications, at least 1 month's supply, first aid kits, alcohol-based hand sanitizer, at least 60% alcohol, non-mercury thermometer, and get copies and maintain electronic versions of health records. Talk with family members about how they would be cared for if they got sick and what would be needed to care for them in your home. Learn about the plan at your child's school and your workplace. Discuss sick leave policies and/or telework options for workers who become ill. For more information, go to oakgov.com/health or call our Nurse on Call hotline at 1-800-848-5533.
Hello, welcome back. It is the Megacast. Thank you for joining us on great radio stations, including 89.3 Lakes FM in West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Commerce Township, West Bloomfield, and beyond, all the way up to Milford and Waterford, if you got a really good radio. 88.1 WBFH, The Biff, out of Bloomfield Hills, and covers, Keagle Harbor, I think, better than Lakes FM does, Tyler. You Bloomfield Hills alum, you. And thank you for joining us on 89.5 Avondale Community Radio. They're transmitted right at I-75 and M59, covering a ton of area. We thank you for tuning in wherever you happen to be today. Also, watch it on Civic Center TV, Birmingham Area Municipal Access. And I shouldn't be touching my eyes. I know if you're watching on TV. I'm going to get an email for that one. And also, today we are on the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. And, of course, on Civic Center TV. Thank you very much for being with us. So Tyler and I sitting here in the radio studios doing our best to do a TV show. We also have a lot going on in the news today. Now, the big news stories, very quickly, before I get into anyone specific, here's what's on my my list here. The Michigan Safe Start Map, really cool. University of Michigan puts it together. Governor announces it yesterday. That was the big news for her press conference. That was supposed to be making all the headlines. We'll talk about that in a minute. Malls are opening. Retail is opening. A couple of big malls are opening in our area. We'll talk about that today. No more prescriptions for coronavirus testing. And in fact, as you heard Joe Bauman from the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber confirm a moment ago, you can go to 3 locations in Oakland County and get tested. No cost. no prescription. Why not go out and do it if you have any question at all about your current COVID-19 status, present or past? And then we're going to find out more from Oakland County today with their press conference. 10,000 reopen kits that the county is going to provide to businesses. What's in those kits? How are they going to help? We will let you know. We're also going to run down a lot of other useful information here in the next couple of minutes, taking a look at how to properly clean up the surfaces in your home. So that and more coming up here in a minute. So yesterday, Governor held a press conference. Is what, 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
All right. And unfortunately, Tyler, this ended up being the big story from that press conference yesterday.
My husband made a failed attempt at humor last week when checking in with the small business that helps with our boat and dock up north. Knowing it wouldn't make a difference, he jokingly asked if being married to me might move him up in the queue. Obviously, with the motorized boating prohibition in our early days of COVID-19, he thought it might get a laugh. It didn't. And to be honest, I wasn't laughing either when it was relayed to me, because I knew how it would be perceived. He regrets it. I wish it wouldn't have happened. And that's really all we have to say about it.
Would you want to be the governor's husband right now, Tyler?
After that,
Forgive me for laughing, but she looked like she was kind of mad at
I mean, I would
the
be
hubby.
too in that situation. That's quite a situation to put the governor in. Yeah.
Oh man, that was a tough one, and it is, we can laugh, but it's not funny for her. It started a whole thing over the weekend between, anytime something like this happens, the media goes crazy. There were literally stories about their dock up in northern Michigan reported worldwide. That was making bigger headlines than the University of Michigan information we're going to tell you about in a minute. And I don't want to dwell on it too long either here, other than to say it's just kind of the space we're living in right now. I guess you kind of have to expect these things. And really, what was he thinking? I mean, the one quote that has been getting out there, now it's starting to come out in the media that we didn't see earlier, is apparently the governor's husband called up to the marina in northern Michigan where their boat is at. They wanted to go up for Memorial Day. And he called up and said, look, I'm the governor's husband. Can you move me up the list? And apparently the guy at the marina said, are you kidding? If you're the governor's husband, I'm going to move you to the bottom of the list. So that wasn't reported quite as widely, but you can understand. I mean, it's the governor's orders that have really inconvenienced a lot of these boatyards in northern Michigan, and of course, she's doing her job. But just the whole irony of the whole thing is that this is the bigger news story of the day. It's too bad, just is what it is. The story that we are really interested in is a University of Michigan doctor yesterday during that press conference detailed information about this new coronavirus dashboard. See if we can play this and tune in and watch on TV.
The My Safe Start map is an interactive dashboard with real-time regional and county-specific data on the coronavirus epidemic. The dashboard includes a display of key epidemic indicators, along with benchmarks to guide individuals in understanding the spread of coronavirus in their communities and across the state. The indicators and the risk benchmarks that are displayed on the dashboard are going to be based on the best available scientific data, evaluated by a team of faculty members at the University of Michigan School of Public Health. The risk levels on the dashboard tell us whether there's a high, medium, or low risk of COVID-19 in the community. This highlights areas where more social distancing may be needed or where vulnerable individuals should be particularly careful. My Safe Start map has been collaboratively developed by a group of volunteer faculty, students, alumni, and friends of the University of Michigan School of Information, guided by faculty from the University of Michigan School of Public Health. This group has done incredible work in a very short time to apply cutting-edge data visualization methods to make these indicators accessible for everyday use, as well as giving everyone the ability to see the data behind the indicators in the most transparent way possible. Keeping our families and businesses safe and healthy during this epidemic requires us all to keep a watchful eye on COVID-19 in our communities. It is our hope that the My Safe Start map will be a useful tool for guiding our own choices, serving as a window into the data as we continue to fight the coronavirus epidemic together.
All right, that is Dr. Emily Martin of the University of Michigan talking about this new My Safe Start map. So let's go to it. Tyler, I'm going to need your help here. I know you spent more time on it, and we're part of the press conference. So I thought we would share this with our listeners and viewers. If you're watching on TV, we brought the page up. We don't have a link to it on Civic Center TV yet, although Jeff promises he'll have one up shortly. And you can see in this case, the state isn't broken up into the 6 or 8 zones that we saw for the relaxing of the stay-at-home orders, but it's broken up into 2 areas in general, and then you can go and you can click on all kinds of other little areas, probably those 6 areas that, in fact, yes, that is the 6 areas. If you mouse over, you can see the 6 areas we've been talking about. And you can go in here and hit epidemic spread. I'm just seeing why this isn't working, of course, after we went through all this. Something, a lot of
click on a region first.
Oh, you got to, okay, so let's just take a look at the Detroit region. You've done this before.
Yes.
So in here, we can see that we are in the medium or high risk area. And if we pull this down, are we going to see it? Yes, there we go. So we can take a look at test results, new cases, and I assume at some point they'll have the death information in here as well. So I bring this up and share this with you because you might want to go through this and take a look. And really, this just kind of demystifies all the little tiny tidbits of information that you get in 5-second sound bites on radio and television, and gives you the ability to go in and see what's really going on. So when you go outside and you decide, well, I'm going to or not going to wear the mask today, you can do it in a little bit more informed way, Tyler, because you go out and you look in Detroit. And let's just click on Oakland County here for a moment and go in and look at the spread of COVID-19. We can see 3.9% of all tests in the county have come back positive. We can also see that we are testing 1,200 tests every day. Is that correct?
It looks like it.
It looks like 1.2K daily tests administered. There's a little asterisk. We'll see what that is later. And then we can also come in and see that new cases in Oakland County represent 14.7 cases per million. Now, to me, these numbers sound a lot lower than what we were seeing before. But just to provide some relative context, let's go to all of the Upper Peninsula and see what those numbers look like there. Only 1.2% test positive and 1.4 daily new cases. So again, back to Oakland County, the numbers are much larger. So really informative map, a lot more than the old map that we had, and we're going to put that up on our website. It's the MI Safe Start map from the University of Michigan and from the governor, and that was supposed to be the big news yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Any thoughts, Tyler?
It's a great interactive map. It gives you more direct information from each of these 8 regions and from specific areas within those regions. So if I'm in Oakland County and I'm going from Clarkston to Orion Township, I know the differences between one area and another, and I know that if I'm going north for business into Traverse City, I can check Traverse City and neighboring areas that I may be staying in that time to have a better knowledge of where I'm at.
Okay, so that is it. Just wanted to let you know you can go to civiccentertv.com, and if we don't have the link up there on our coronavirus page, we will have it shortly for you. Quick look at the headlines on our website today. Somerset Collection, Great Lakes Crossing outlets, 12 Oaks Mall to reopen. Shoppers should expect some changes, you think? 12 Oaks Mall, Great Lakes Crossing outlets are going to reopen on Thursday. Somerset is going to be open on Friday. Our own Erica Jones, it's a tough assignment, Tyler.
It is.
We're sending her to the mall. She'll be so happy. Michigan expands COVID-19 testing criteria as economy begins to open. And essentially what that story is all about is you can go get a test right now, as we mentioned earlier, and no problem, no prescription needed. We've talked about the governor's situation. Story in here about a group here in Metro Detroit trying to help seniors. CDC says getting rid of coronavirus on surfaces takes a 1-2 punch. Let's take a quick look at this story. I was surprised when I read this. The Center for Disease Control is reminding Americans to clean surfaces during the coronavirus outbreak. The CDC is reiterating a 1-2 punch. We're going to have to add that to our coronavirus vocabulary. The coronavirus 1-2 punch. Approach for cleaning hard surfaces such as a table or a desk. The CDC says make sure to clean surfaces with soap and water, then disinfect with a household disinfectant or other recommended products. Remember, do not mix chemicals. So, I've just been using the wipes for the most part, and that's what we've been doing here in the studio, Tyler, but maybe we got that wrong.
Yeah, there may be extra steps. It's helpful information to know and to make things extra clean. If soap and water works for your hands, that could work for surfaces.
Put them up. The 1-2 coronavirus punch is coming to a surface near you. Am I being a little over dramatic? All right, maybe a little bit. For hard surfaces, the CDC suggests to clean surfaces using soap and water. You're advised to practice routine cleaning of surfaces touched frequently. So if you can't get the wipes, which lately they've been hard to buy, soap and water for your hard surfaces, for soft surfaces, carpeted floors, rugs, drapes. The CDC suggests to clean the surface using soap and water with cleaners appropriate for use on these surfaces. So some information about your carpets. And then when it comes to laundry, the CDC urges you to use the warmest appropriate water setting and dry items completely. Your other option is to disinfect with an EPA-registered household disinfectant. And again, I don't normally do my laundry that way because it all comes out wrinkled, right?
Right.
So lots of good tips. Go read the story. This will help you out. This is getting right down to the nitty-gritty of why we do this show. And to have the information here and make it easy for you to get this done and get it done right at your home. It is the article from the CDC getting rid of coronavirus on surfaces takes the 1-2 punch. Published on clickondetroit.com today and linked right from our little old website, civiccentertv.com. We invite you to go and check that out. We are going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. When we return, we are going to check in with our own Erica Jones. She is heading off to Oakland County. Why don't we get to her first? Then we will check in with Dr. Adam Fienman, a dentist. So dentist offices have opened up. Great news. I need a haircut, and I need to get my teeth cleaned, Tyler. Maybe you the same, huh?
That's another kind of 1-2 punch.
It is the 1-2 punch, a very important one. Regina Woodward will join us. She is the sales manager of Newcomb's Auto Sales. I'm not familiar with them. They are in Auburn Hills. We'll look forward to talking to her. And I'm really looking forward to talking to our U.S. Congressman from Michigan's 9th District. That is U.S. Representative Andy Levin. I've met Sander. I've met Carl. Not met Andy yet. We look forward to chatting with him and seeing what's going on in Washington. You know, the big news in the U.S. Congress, I don't know if you heard this, Tyler, but the Republicans sued Nancy Pelosi because of this quorum call thing that they've been having there. They've been letting members of Congress vote by proxy. It's just kind of like, your investment funds. You can let somebody else vote for you, and that apparently is not consistent with the Constitution, according to some. So my guess is that Congressman Levin won't have a big problem with it, but we look forward to hearing from him. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Erica in just a moment. You are listening to 89.3 WBLD, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Kegel Harbor, and Sylvan Lake, 88.1 WBFH, Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham, and all of the surrounding communities, and WAHS, Auburn Hills, otherwise known as 89.5 Avondale Community Radio. Our great radio stations, thanks to BAMA, Birmingham Area Municipal Access, Civic Center TV, and thank you to the Birmingham and Bloomfield Chamber. We're on their Facebook page today, and you can also find us at civiccentertv.com. And a good opportunity to thank the fine institution, the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission, our bosses who make all of this available for the Megacast each and every day. We're going to take time out. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Kurt Lawson, and I'm the Public Information Officer for West Bloomfield Township. We wanted to reach out to you, our older adults, to provide information that you may find useful during this difficult time. We want to ensure you that West Bloomfield Town Hall, our Waters and Utility Department, West Bloomfield Parks, and our police and fire departments continue to work hard on your behalf. Information and resources can be found on the Township website, the police Facebook and Twitter, or call West Bloomfield Park's COVID-19 Help Hotline. Please remember to keep your social distance of at least 6 feet.
Doctor, I think they might be doing a quick interview.
And wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap. These precautions will help keep you safe during these difficult times.
Hello, I'm Dr. Betty Chu, Chief Quality Officer at Henry Ford Health System, and I'm with Wright Lassiter, Henry Ford Health System's CEO, to talk about coronavirus.
In uncertain times, it's natural to have questions. So I'm going to ask Dr. Chu to answer some of the common ones. First, why can't I visit my grandma to see if she's okay?
Because the elderly are at a higher risk for complications with this disease, and you could inadvertently infect her.
If I'm healthy, why can't I go out with my friends?
The larger the crowd you're exposed to, the higher the chance you could get infected and infect others.
If I have symptoms, why do I have to seek care?
While the disease isn't dangerous for most people, for others it can be. We need to understand how serious your case is, because the right choices save lives. For more information, visit henryford.com or call 313-874-1055.
Welcome back to the Megacast on 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 The Biff, WAHS, it's 89.5 Avondale Community Radio, Birmingham Area Municipal Access, Channel 15 on Comcast, Channel 15 Comcast in West Bloomfield as well on Civic Center TV. You can check us out on Channel 99, AT&T all over Metro Detroit. Just go to the municipal television area there, and you will find everything you need to get to us. We are live on the Facebook Live page today of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, and you can always watch the show at civiccentertv.com. Thank you for joining us, Dave Scott. Erica Jones in our studio. We'll get to her in a minute. Coming up also is Dr. Adam Fienman, dentist, who is probably very happy to be back at work and seeing patients again. We'll talk to him in just a couple of moments. Regina Woodward, the sales manager of Newcomb's Auto Sales, also glad to be back at work. And this guy hasn't left work. He is U.S. Representative Andy Levin of Michigan's 9th District, and we will chat with him in just a couple of moments. So, Erica, we are going to be heading off. You are going to be heading off to a press conference in Oakland County today. That's happening around 1:30. We won't be able to have it live, but we will have your reporting on our website later on today. And the note from the county says that they are going to be talking about new kits. They are going to be opening... It's in here somewhere. So basically, I thought it was in the text. It's not in there. But basically, the county's going to be talking about having startup kits or businesses that are going to be opening up again. So you're going to find out all about that. And first press conference the county is held in person. So it should be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool opportunity. I can't wait to be able to experience this in person. I've never, been to a press conference before, so I'm excited to get the footage on it and really just experience it. And it's such an exciting time knowing that these businesses are going to be able to open. So the steps that we need to take for that.
So Erica, move your mic a little bit, and we're going to get you so they can see you on your camera right there. So this is your first press conference ever, and of course, there you are. You're over there. All right. That's okay. It's just fine. And once, twice, there you go. All right. This is not easy, these little mic flags. We got to glue those things in there.
We're good.
Listen, if you made it through that, you're going to have no problem making it through the press conference at all today. So your first press conference should be fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
It's a big responsibility, so...
Well, the biggest thing, I'll just give you a tip, when you go to your first press conference, kind of intimidating because there are all the other reporters that you see on TV. And
they'll be intimidated by me, obviously.
Well, look at you. Aren't you ready? I like this. That's why we got Erica here. She's good. I bet they will. So you're going to ask like one or two questions, and you're all ready to do it?
Yeah, I am, definitely. I'll be paying close attention, taking notes, and I will have the best questions ever, just like you asked for.
All right, very good. So Erica will be back here tomorrow. Thank you for checking in. I'm sorry about your microphone. I'll get that fixed before you come back in here. And tomorrow, we're going to send you out tomorrow also. You're going to get out to one of the malls and find out how the opening of the malls are going on in Metro Detroit, right?
Yeah, no promises I'll come back, but
all right.
I will.
All right. Erica Jones, thank you very much for checking in. I appreciate it. Let's go to our next guest now. And he is a dentist who's been waiting patiently for the state of Michigan to make it possible for us to go back and see our dentist. He is Dr. Adam Fienman, and he is with Dentistry of West Bloomfield. Dr. Fienman, welcome to the Megacast. Good to have you.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Erica's doing a great. She gets to go to her first press conference ever. I mean, you and I should be having so much fun.
Yeah, I heard that. That's exciting.
It is exciting. As exciting as it must be for you to get back to work. I mean, must be very frustrating waiting so long to not be able to see your patients and have your business idled. What are your thoughts?
I'm very excited to get back. I mean, it has been frustrating, but I've certainly kept busy keeping up with all the guidelines being released by the Dental Association and CDC and OSHA. So I've been very busy with that, and I've got the whole staff here this week getting them caught up so that we can start seeing patients like we're used to on June 1st.
Dr. Fienman, will it be like it used to, or are there new practices and procedures that you're going to have to put in place?
Well, with dentistry, we're used to dealing with infection control all the time. So it's not a huge leap for us. It's just some tweaking of what we're already used to. So as patients come in, they will notice a few differences. The waiting room is going to run completely different than it was before to help maintain social distance. We'll ask that patients wait in their cars, and we'll kind of wave them into the practice. There'll be some additional screening before you get to the office over the phone. And then when you do get to the office, there will be screening questions, and we'll take temperatures. We'll be doing the same thing for our staff every morning as well, keeping up to date on how they're feeling and their health. And then just really limiting and controlling the people in and through the office. You'll notice that we'll be wearing more PPE, some face shields and different types of masks that you might not have seen before. Will be covered up a little bit more than you're used to, but all the disinfecting and everything that we're doing is more of the same that we've always done.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you guys in your industry are kind of like football players. Football players would go to the games and they're wearing their helmets. I'm not so sure we really would recognize a lot of football players if we walked down the street and saw their face. You guys, I mean, my dentist has always been like the mask and the second mask and the thing over my mouth and gloves and everything. I mean, you're right. This whole thing is not new to dentistry. You've been practicing a lot of the things that those of us who are going to the grocery store are now doing. You've been doing these things for a long time.
Yeah. Well, first, thank you for comparing me to a football player. That's never been done before, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, my wife is complaining about wearing a mask, and she's like, "How do you breathe in this thing? I can't. I don't get it." And it's just I've been doing it so long. It's not an issue, but yeah, they can be challenging to breathe in, but it's what we need to do to keep all of ourselves, everyone safe and healthy. So certainly we're promoting that, and we want everyone to be, all our patients, when they come to the office, we're going to request that they wear their masks into the office. And really the only time you'll take it off is when you're in the chair with me or with one of the hygienists for us to actually do our work. And then you'll put it on when you leave as well.
Dr. Fienman, we talked to a cardiologist a while ago, and we talked to another physician yesterday who said that it is really important for people to go in and get their regular maintenance on their teeth because the health care of your mouth relates to the rest of your body, in particular the cardiovascular system. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That has not changed. That is all the research that they're doing we're linking everything together. So all the I've seen emergencies that were put off the first few weeks became bigger emergencies. So it's definitely time to get in and get that routine care taken care of so that we can catch things when they're small. We can catch things before they become blown out of proportion. So it's very important to get people back in for their routine care. Call and get in. We're backlogged now. I mean, my hygiene department is booked solid because people want to get in and take care of that routine care. they know if they don't take care of their teeth, they're going to have bigger issues down the road.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting to get back into my dentist. I want to get a grade on how I did. I mean, I was like water picking 3 times a day and making an extra effort to brush and do, because I knew that I wasn't going to get in for a cleaning when it was scheduled. So, no. And, you know, I don't think that your industry is going to mind if we pick up the phone and call and schedule an appointment, because you guys are going to be swamped, right?
Yes, yeah. So you're looking for that A, aren't you? So
I am. I am. I don't think I'm going to get it, but I'm definitely looking for the A. We hope it works out. So a little out of your subject matter, but I was just curious. So if you guys can open up, and I understand you're physicians, and you really know, you've been doing this for years, making sure that you are protecting yourself from infection and disease from your patients. But if you guys can open up, why couldn't a hair salon open up? I don't know if you want to comment on that or not, but, you know, what would they need to do? Maybe another way to come at it is, what would they need to do to be able to make sure they're also protected? They're working in very close proximity with people too.
Yeah, it's not for me to say what they should, you know. I'm not coming up with the procedures myself. I'm looking to OSHA and the CDC and the American Dental Association and the Michigan Dental Association to guide me on how to best protect myself, my staff, and my patients. So I would hope that those people in other businesses are looking to those same organizations and in their industry to set the standard and set the guidelines that they need for the procedures they need to put into place to keep themselves safe, their staff safe, and anyone who sets foot in their establishment safe. That's what my hope would be.
All right. Well, well answered, my friend. Thank you very much for your thoughts, and I get it. What else is going on? What else should we know if we're going to see our dentist? One of the things that folks are concerned generally going to see any kind of health professional right now is that they may get COVID-19 when they go to see their doctor, and we've assured people that they're going to be fine if they have to go to the hospital because safety measures are in place. But can you understand some people being concerned as they head back?
Absolutely. I'm concerned myself when I'm out and about too, but it's understanding, taking the right precautions for yourself that make you feel comfortable to go out, and because staying locked up in your house is not a good long-term solution. We need to get out there and learn how to live with this virus and do less risky things and protect ourselves when we're out in the community.
All right. Well, Dr. Fienman, congratulations. I'm glad you're opening back up. One final question just on the business front. How have dentists been doing? I mean, you think of dentists, I mean, they're tough businesses to run too. You've been closed now for a couple of months. How did that go for you? What did you do to get through? And what have you heard from other dentists that you might be in touch with?
It's certainly challenging. I used to spending 90% of my day doing dentistry and the other 10% doing all the business stuff. So the last month plus, I've been doing 5% dentistry and 95% business stuff. Everyone I've dealt with has been wonderful and wants to help. We're all in this together. So all my vendors, all my bankers, everyone, it's all been, it's been challenging and different, but helpful. I've certainly gotten a business education very quickly. I'm in touch with dentists all over the country and into Canada. A lot of them have gone back to work already, and they're all doing well. They're all, people are showing up. People want to take care of their teeth and are showing up and getting back to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been good to have you. I appreciate you taking time. I know you want to get back to work, so thank you for joining us on the Megacast. I'm glad I was able to compare you to a football player, and that made your day. And we'd love to have you back sometime. If there's anything you want to share with us, let us know, and we'll check in with you again soon. All right?
Thank you so much. Look forward to talking with you again.
All right. He is Dr. Adam Fienman, dentist in West Bloomfield. Good day today, Tyler. You can get back to the dentist. Things are beginning to open up, and that is good news. Also, we are seeing other sectors begin to open up. As you know, retail starting to open up. The malls are going to be opening up soon. And auto dealers opened up on Monday by appointment. Limited number of people can come in, but you can, in fact, go buy a car. We're going to talk to Regina Woodward, the sales manager of Newcomb's Auto Sales. Is that like, have you ever heard of Newcomb's Auto Sales?
I have not. I don't venture into auto dealerships in the Auburn Hills very often, so I guess we'll find out.
All right, we will find out. It's going to be fun. We'll check in with Regina in a couple of minutes and keep an eye on all the other news that's going on the coronavirus front. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, it's the Megacast, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Kurt Lawson, and I'm the Public Information Officer for West Bloomfield Township. We wanted to reach out to you, our older adults, to provide information that you may find useful during this difficult time. We want to ensure you that West Bloomfield Town Hall, our Waters and Utility Department, West Bloomfield Parks, and our police and fire departments continue to work hard on your behalf. Information and resources can be found on the Township website, the police Facebook and Twitter, or call West Bloomfield Park's COVID-19 Help Hotline. Please remember to keep your social distance of at least 6 feet, wear facial coverings when you leave your home, and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap. These precautions will help keep you safe during these difficult times.
Hi, I'm Dr. Faust, the Medical Director for the Oakland County Health Division. The most important thing you can do to prevent the spread of illness is to wash your hands thoroughly and often. Follow these 6 easy steps every time you wash your hands. Step 1, turn on the sink and wet your hands with warm water. Step 2, apply soap to your hands and lather between your fingers, under your nails, and the front and back of your hands and wrists. Step 3, wash your hands by scrubbing them together for at least 20 seconds. Step 4, rinse your hands with warm, clean water. And step 5, dry your hands with a clean cloth towel, a paper towel, or hot air blow dryer. If you're using a cloth towel, make sure to change it often. For handheld faucets, turn off the water using a paper towel instead of your bare hand. Step 6, if you're using a paper towel, throw it away. Practice healthy habits like washing your hands after coughing or sneezing into them to keep you and others healthy. Go to oakgov.com/health or call Nurse on Call at 1-800-848-5533 to learn more.
Welcome back to the Megacast. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe in our Lakes FM radio studios. We thank you for joining us. I got the summer apparel out, Tyler. Got the short sleeve shirt, first time of the year, and got the boat anchor shirt. We're feeling very summer-like here after that 80-degree-plus weekend. Did you see the forecast that just came out for the state of Michigan for the summer? It's going to be warmer this summer than it typically is. It's going to be a hot summer here in Michigan. Should be great.
Yeah, so it's a kind of a cool winter. It was a little bit of wasn't as cold as it normally was, but having a nice warm summer is always it's always a plus.
All right, so here are the main stories we're watching for you today. We're going to check in with the car dealer in a couple of minutes here on the Megacast, and we are also going to check in with our congressman from the 9th District, U.S. Representative Andy Levin. We'll check in here. Some of the top stories. Governor yesterday at a press conference talking about the new Michigan Safe Start map, very helpful, put together by the University of Michigan, a really great asset. We'll have a link for that up on our website shortly at civiccenter.com/coronavirus. The malls are getting ready to open. Thursday around southeastern Michigan, you're going to begin to see the malls open. I still believe you can't go into retail stores without the appointment, and they're only going to allow 10 people in each store. But so you can get on the phone, you can make an appointment. You want to go to Great Lakes Crossing, you want to go to 12 Oaks Mall, you want to go shopping in downtown Birmingham, you want to go shopping at Somerset, you can finally do it. It's cool. I need some stuff for my Mac so I can get back to the Apple Store, which has been isolated. Not going into the Apple Store for me for several months. I'm kind of like, need to get in the Apple Store. You do not need a prescription anymore if you want to get tested. And there are 3 testing sites in Oakland County, across the county. So no prescription, no cost. More information on the Civic Center TV website. Just go to the Oakland County section, and you will find all of the information there. It's all right. I'm sure Verify it's there, Tyler.
Yes, if you go to civiccentertv.com, you click on Megacast. Click on coronavirus, and then at the top of the page, we have a link to Oakland County. All your information will be there.
All right. We talked about the new guidelines that you might want to use at your home as you're cleaning up surfaces in your home. Link on our site today. We have the coronavirus 1-2 punch. You can wash surfaces with soap and water and then use a disinfectant. That's what the CDC is saying. And 10,000 reopen kits will be coming from Oakland County. Press conference this afternoon. We'll learn all the details a little bit later on and let you know when we have all of that information for you. Tyler, interesting story in bridgemi.com. Really a great website if you're looking for nonpartisan news from around the state of Michigan. Some of the finest reporters from the Free Press and the News and MLive and other organizations all went to work for this new publication. They are a nonprofit, reader-supported and advertiser-supported, not advertiser, but sponsor-supported, if you will, publication. I think they're really doing a good job. Worth checking out if you're looking for statewide information, bridgemi.com. They have a story today with an update on the status of our colleges and universities around the state. And taking a look at the list, which I'll read through real quickly here. Tyler, most of the universities are planning in-person classes in the fall.
Yeah, we've heard from a lot of universities about more specifics of that, but most of Michigan's colleges and universities have already made their plans or are in the process of making their plans.
So they don't say what kind of social distancing they're going to have, and I'm sure that's going to be a big part of it. But your young folks, if you have college-age students at your home, will be likely heading back to campus. Let's take a quick look and read through the list. Now, these are schools that will be having in-person classes. Adrian, Albion, Alma, Calvin, CMU, Central Michigan University, Eastern Michigan University, Ferris State University, Gohebic, I imagine that's up in the UP, Community College, Grand Valley in West Michigan, Hillsdale, Jackson, Lake Superior State, Lansing Community College, Madonna, Michigan Tech, Mid-Michigan, Montcalm Community, Northern Michigan University, Oakland University. They are going to have a hybrid approach with many classes online and those that are on campus move to large rooms to allow students to keep social distancing. In person at Saginaw Valley, Spring Arbor, UAD Mercy, hybrid approach, Walsh College, student choice of in-person, hybrid, or online. So they're going to let the students decide there, and Western in person. I noticed that your alma mater and that other large university in Ann Arbor are not on the list. Have they not made their commitments yet?
I don't know where they're at in the process. A lot of these other colleges I think they're one of the last handful of universities and colleges in the state that actually have not made plans or given any sort of status check on when they will. That includes, as you said, my alma mater, Michigan State, and it includes all campuses of U of M Dearborn, U of M Flint, and Ann Arbor.
All right, so we will continue to keep an eye on that story. In fact, maybe Jeff can check in and see how what kind of information we get from some of the bigger universities in Michigan. Maybe they have already made a commitment, and it just hasn't been reported to us. The other big story, and it's been around since last Friday, we've really not had time to talk about it, but we got an extra minute or two right now, unusual in this show. But the governor's stay-at-home order extending to the 12th. And I looked all over yesterday, Tyler, after we talked on the program and had a discussion about, the 10-person order and then the governor's stay-at-home order. We have the stay-at-home order, but we can go to the dentist. We can go to the doctor. We can, go to the retail establishment. So we have the stay-at-home order. We have the 10-person thing going on. It's starting to get a little bit complicated to understand what we can and can't do. I think what the stay-at-home order says is unless you got a place somewhere, you really shouldn't be jumping in your car and traveling around the state. I can't make any other sense out of what that could mean at this point when businesses are open, auto plants are open, car dealers are open. Who's staying at home now?
Yeah, it's tough to read in that situation also because is it saying if you don't need to, these places are open, but go to them locally and stay in your general area, or is it saying don't go out of your general area at all, and that's why we're opening these places? It's tough to gauge.
So here's kind of an interesting story back again to Bridge that certainly is a good example of the challenges people are facing trying to figure out what you can do and what you can't do. From bridgemi.com, one day Michigan Governor Whitmer relaxed restrictions that were put in place to slow the spread of the coronavirus that has killed 5,100 residents. Next, she extended her stay-at-home order until June 12th. Confused, relaxed, stay at home, so exactly what we've been talking about. Whitmer's order extending her stay-at-home rules essentially leaves in place restrictions on businesses and gatherings for a few more weeks. But those restrictions have been eased this week as the pace of the pandemic is slowing in Michigan. Among other things, meetings in groups of 10 people, retail shopping, and non-essential doctor's visits are now legal, as we've been talking about on the show. Restaurants and bars up north open, down here not open. But the essence of this story is, can you hug your grandmother? And I don't think there was any clear indication whether or not. I mean, you're supposed to keep social distancing. Unless you live with your grandmother, I guess you really can't hug your grandmother. It is confusing out there right now.
It is. It's unclear what a lot of these rules and regulations that have been updated actually mean. And that's been kind of the status quo initially after these orders have been initiated and been updated throughout this entire process. But it is odd, and I was thinking about that yesterday with these gatherings of 10 people. Does that include just those you live with, those in your immediate family, those you work with, or does that kind of have a more broader
I think
meaning?
the way I read it, I think you can go wherever you want as long as you are. If you're inside, you put the mask on. If you're outside and you're within 6 feet of people, you put the mask on. To me, it sounds like if it's a gathering of 10 people, it's cool. But I don't know. I assume somebody will clear it up. I think the next big step and the next big press conference that the governor has, hopefully we will not be talking about docks in northern Michigan, but people are waiting to see when restaurants and hair salons and those things are going to open up. And, when you get to one point, then you say, well, if we got here, why can't we go there? Why can't we go to the next point? And I was trying to make that impact with the dentist, Dr. Fienman, who we had on, and he was smart to not answer my question that I had. Dentist, Dr. Fienman, do you think that we should open hair salons? Well, I wouldn't have answered that one either. But when you really think about it, the dentists are, they're all masked up, and they're working as close to a patient as someone's going to be working at a hair salon. So I know they've had all that medical training, but is it just me, or is it not too big of a stretch to get from A to B?
I see where you're coming from, but I also think about it in another way, where medical facilities, including dentist offices, already have regulations in place for cleanliness and for protective purposes, particularly from the angle of the physician in this case. Whereas hair salons are not as heavily regulated on a base level. Now they know that they need to keep social distancing measures, and they need to figure out a way to have their stylists have the stylists be able to protect their face, their hands, and wear shields.
I just can't see, at least the nail salons. I mean, literally, they've got casinos that they're getting ready to open. When you put the big plexiglass shield, why couldn't you put the plexiglass shield in and stick your hands or your toes in there, and we can get those open, too. So I know they're working on it. We're waiting for the next big announcement from the governor, and the next one will be the big one. That will be restaurants, bars, small groups in the rest of the state of Michigan, and it won't be too much longer. My guess is that, sometime around the 12th of June, Tyler, we're going to get some more information on that matter.
I would hope so, and I think that around each of these deadlines where these stay-at-home orders have been ended and then restarted or extended outward, I think at the end of each of those deadlines, we've seen something new happen in some new sectors of industry or open up or some other restrictions be lifted. And I think we're going to continue to see that happen. And that's what the governor and the governor's office and the Department of Health and Human Services are meaning by gradual. They're going to keep pushing these out, but each time they're going to open something new and lift other restrictions.
Okay, so you can go figure out all this for yourself. Go to civiccentertv.com, go to the coronavirus page. You'll find the information from the county, very helpful. From the state, also very helpful. From the CDC, again, very helpful. Go get the information, take a look, read all this for yourself, make your own decision. Be careful, be safe, and just think about all the other people out there that you would feel terrible if you got sick. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to talk to Regina Woodard. She is the sales manager at Newcomb's Auto Sales in Auburn Hills. Dentist office is open. Car dealerships are open, and in the home of the car, that is really big news. We're going to talk to her in a moment, and then we are also going to talk to the U.S. Congressman from the 9th District here in Michigan. That is Andy Levin. He checks in as well. This is the Megacast, and we'll be right back.
Coronavirus is deadly, but Michigan can fight back. Our front doors are the front lines of defense. Staying home is the best way to stop the spread. Because just one infected person can give it to 40, who can give it to countless more. So call Grandma, don't visit. Video chat, don't meet up. And if you must go out for food or medicine, keep at least 6 feet from others. Stay home, stay safe, stop the spread.
Technology like smartphones are wonderful devices to reduce social isolation in older adults. You can call grandchildren, phone friends, participate in fitness classes, and play games. But you need to stay mindful of scams. Scams related to the COVID-19 virus are rising. These include attempts to obtain personal information from seniors, including pitching unreliable products, advice, tests, and cures. You need to stay vigilant and be cautious. If you feel that you have been taken advantage of, it's okay for you to reach out to somebody you know and seek out advice, or even contact your medical provider. Thank you.
Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the Megacast. The Megacast is on television and radio and internet outlets all across Oakland County. I want to thank you for tuning in on 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 WBFH The Biff in Bloomfield Hills, 89.5 Avondale Community Radio, serving the Avondale, Auburn Hills, Pontiac area. Really great to have you listening there. Thank you for watching in Birmingham on Birmingham Area Municipal Access, in West Bloomfield on Civic Center TV. Also for tuning in today in the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, our Facebook partner today. We have the show there, and you can also tune in on civiccentertv.com and watch us there as well. Through all of these outlets, we try to do our very best to get the update on the coronavirus, the status, what you need to do to keep yourself safe, and the reopening of Michigan. And that's what we're celebrating today. A lot of things opening up. We talked about the malls and dentist offices, and how about car dealerships? We can glory. We can finally go out and put a bunch of money down on a new, shiny automobile. And isn't that what we love to do more than almost anything here in Metro Detroit? Joining us now is Regina Woodard. She is the sales manager of Newcomb's Auto Sales in Auburn Hills. Regina, hello. Welcome to the Megacast. You look great on Zoom. Regina, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning.
Well, it's great to have you. So talk about how you feel. You're back in business. We can get back to the business of buying cars. How about that?
Well, first of all, I want to say we are very blessed to still be having customers, and still, it hasn't stopped with us at Newcomb Auto Sales, located in Auburn Hills, Michigan, right before you get to the old Palace of Auburn Hills. We've been open almost a month now, and what's changed with us is that customers we're no longer able to come in the showroom, but people are coming on the lot. We're going out with our mask on. We got our gloves. Customers are making appointments, and some are just coming on the lot, and we're going to talk to them. And really, what's different is that we're signing them in our service area, I mean, people are still, you know, getting cars. We haven't missed a beat, so we are very blessed right now.
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and of course, you're the sales manager at a car dealership. So if you weren't enthusiastic, Regina, I would be. She's in the wrong job. So listen, I think it's great. So talk about the last month. So people have been coming by. You've been putting your mask on and walking around outside and taking a look at cars. How's that been going?
Okay, so the customer they pull up on the lot. We have about 3 boards outside on on 3 nails. Social distance from each other, of course, and the customer is actually putting their name, their telephone number, giving us a little information, and then we're going out to get it, and then we're having a conversation. What are you looking to do? And then we meet them at that car with that car that they want to look at. If they want to get financed, we're getting that application, because if you turn on the back of the sheet that's on the clipboard is the application. They're putting their driver's license there, their pay stubs if needed. So I mean, we actually, I want to say it's a little bit more. We feel more closer to our customers. I mean, they're not coming in the showroom, but we feel more closer because they're talking to us more. We're communicating more, because when the customers were in the showroom or able to come into the store, I mean, we talk to them. They sit at the desk or they're sitting in our waiting area. But we have conversation with them, but we have more conversation with them, and we feel a need to talk to them more because they're not in the dealership. So we have adjusted, and the customers have adjusted very well.
Well, Regina Woodard is joining us. She's the sales manager of Newcomb's Auto Sales in Auburn Hills. Regina joining us via Zoom. I love your enthusiasm. Thank you very much for being with us and checking in with us from your dealership. So it's got to get a little bit easier now. You can set appointments up. People can come inside finally. Are you inviting people back in? Do they want to come in? Or you like doing business outside at this time?
No. I mean, now people can come in the dealership by appointment only. You know, if they want to come in, or if they're outside and we don't have anybody in, and we don't, it's not capacity, you know, we say, hey, come on in, and we'll talk to them at the desk, and we'll find out what the needs and wants are, or we'll use our service area. So now, because of Corona, we just have an extra option. We go outside and talk to you, or you come in with an appointment, or if you don't have an appointment, we still let you come in. We're still communicating. And then let me just say this, how we're protecting ourselves too. You know, before the customer takes a test drive for that car, we are wiping the car down, you know, wiping the inside out, wiping the handles off, you know, just making it clean for the customer. And then when they come back, we're also doing that, wiping down the vehicle again. And also, you know, we get the customer approved. We're also delivering the car to them. We delivered a car to Lansing, Michigan last Friday.
Nice.
To our drivers, you know, one drove the BMW, and then the other one trailed him and brought him back to the dealer. So we're excited. We'll deliver the car to you. So we're doing all types of things at Newcomb Auto Sales.
All right, Regina, I appreciate knowing that, and it's good to talk to you today. Talk a little bit about what's happening with car sales through this whole period. Are there values and prices going up? Are they going down? Is inventory available? What's going on in the auto biz right now?
Well, let me just say, let me just put this out here. You know, what we're finding is some of our customers, maybe 20% of them, you know, they're on unemployment and they want to get into a vehicle. And, you know, we did have a bank that actually would put you in the car if you were on unemployment temporarily and then going back to work. But this one bank does not want to take anybody that's on unemployment. And that's like 20% of the customers, right? But what we're doing is we're getting a start date that when that person is due to go back, whether it's a month or 2 months from now, we're notating that in the computer, and then we'll reach back out to that person. Hey, you're back to work. How's everything going? You know, you ready to get into that vehicle? But the other customers that can actually buy a car that are working, what we're doing is the banks. I mean, they're understanding what's going on. The interest rates have not gone up. We had a customer that had a 680 credit score. This particular bank had a fresh start program, and they offered the customer 3.9. So 3.9 on a 2010 Escape with 82,000 miles. And that's a wonderful rate.
That is. You know, I heard something. I don't know if this has reached you yet, but I heard there's going to be a lot more used vehicles available at a great price because of the rental companies. You know, they've had a real hard time, and they're going to be dumping vehicles onto the market. Have you heard the same thing? And what kind of impact do you think that's going to have right down to the street level here in Auburn Hills?
Well, I think that's going to be a huge impact for us because, you know, I've been in the car business for 21 years. Actually, I'm known as Regina, the queen of car loans. And I used to sell new cars, and now I do used cars. So I'm a sales manager, but I also sell type paperwork. Whatever I need to do, you know, we do it at Newcomb Auto Sales because we're family owned. The business of family owned business been around for 47 years. But as far as the prices, this is the best market, the best business to be in right now when it comes to sales, automobiles, is the used car market. I'm telling you, because I did new cars for 20 years plus, even though I sold used cars too, but mainly I sold new. But now the used car market it just reminds me, if it depends on how old you are or how young you are, but if you remember 2008, 2009, when General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford filed the bankruptcy, and they didn't want to do new cars, they want to do all used. So I believe it's going to go back to that. And people are going to go buy the used cars. And the reason they're going to do that is because, you know, they don't want to have to worry about, you know, leasing or worry about going over the mile. They want to travel when they want to, and they want to get that good used car. So right now, it's a used car market.
All right, Regina, I'm just updating my paperwork here. It says Regina Woodard, sales manager, Newcomb Auto Sales. I'm updating that. Say Regina, the queen of car loans. I apologize for getting your title wrong earlier. So I think I agree with you. I think it's a really good time for used cars. There's going to be a lot of affordable cars in the market. You know, we certainly want to support our auto industry, and there's going to be people out there buying new cars. But with the rental companies having so much trouble, some of them looking at bankruptcy, we're just hearing a lot of used cars are going to be available. A lot of them, a lot of really good used cars come from the rental market, right? So we'll just have to see how it all works out, and hopefully look for some good deals. So thank you for being with us. Any final thoughts for people today?
Yeah, let me just say two things. You know, we know that it's a hard time right now with everybody for what, you know, where the families, businesses, what they're going through. And, you know, we just want to say at Newcomb Auto Sales, we are there for you. We believe in you, and we're not going anywhere. If anything, what we've done at Newcomb Auto Sales, we stepped up our customer service, top notch, better than what it was before, because we have our daily meetings to make sure that we're taking care of customers, being concerned, and also concerned about the rental companies, you know, that not going to come around or make it out of this. So, you know, we're there for them, and our hearts goes out to them. And let me just say this, and I guess I should have mentioned this in the beginning. The great thing what I love about Newcomb Auto Sales, you know, we offer free oil changes on our vehicles, all our pre-owned vehicles except the Mercedes or the Range Rovers. We offer free oil changes on our vehicle. And then for 3 months or 3,000 miles, we offer that warranty on it. So we are standing behind our product. We are there for our customers. And we're just trying to get closer to the community at this time. And we just hope that because of what's going on with Corona in the world, that everybody will be, you know, a little bit more closer and think about the next person, whether you're buying a car, whether you're going shopping, when the restaurants open back up, and just looking out for those small businesses. You know, we know McDonald's not going nowhere. We know Burger King is not going nowhere, but we got to look out for those small businesses. And we just want to let you know that we appreciate the small businesses and also the healthcare workers.
Regina,
those are my last words.
Regina, that was so well said. Thank you very much. I couldn't. I wish I could have said it. I was going to say I couldn't have said it any better. I wish I could have said it that well. That's fantastic. And you know, even at, you know, sending out good wishes to the rental companies. That's classy. So it's got to feel good. You know, when you hand someone the keys to a car, that's got to be the greatest feeling in the world, especially if it was tough for somebody to put the deal together. So that's got to be a good feeling, huh?
Yes, it is. It's a very good feeling. Yes,
Regina, thank you very much for joining us. I'll stop by, and I'd like to meet you sometime. So thank you for being on the program with us. Good to talk to you.
All right, thank you.
She is Regina, the queen of car loans at Newcomb's Auto Sales, and really appreciate her taking a minute or two. There's someone I'm just looking out for their neighbor and trying to make a buck and get some people in some cars. So good to see. Car dealers are open. I think that that was fun. I mean, I'm glad we scheduled that. We didn't. No offense to Suburban Collection or some of the big new car dealers, but, what I love about the show is getting an opportunity to talk to people and really find out what's happening right here at a very local level in our communities.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to get that perspective because the big dealerships are likely to be better off in a situation like this. They have more locations. They probably have made more profits over the year thus far and have more backed up. But these smaller dealerships, seeing that they're doing well and they're recovering and they're coming back strong, it's always good to hear too.
Well, it is, and every small business right now definitely needs our help. So thank you for joining us here in the Megacast all across Oakland County. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe. We now shift gears, and we are delighted to be joined by U.S. Representative Andy Levin of Michigan's 9th District. If you are not familiar, that includes a lot of our service area, including Bloomfield Township, Franklin, Bingham Farms, Berkeley, Beverly Hills, Clawson, Clinton Township, Centerline, East Point, Ferndale, Fraser, Hazel Park. Andy, that's a lot. Huntington Woods, Madison Heights, Mount Clemens, Pleasant Ridge, Royal Oak, Roseville, St. Clair Shores, Sterling Heights, Warren. And Congressman, I hope I didn't miss any of them. Welcome to the show.
I don't know, Dave. There's 21 communities in the 9th Congressional District, so I think you've got almost all of them, or even maybe all of them.
Well, we got a lot of them, and through our community radio stations and our community television channels that we're on each and every day, and we're on a whole network of them. It's great to reach all those people, and I thank you so much for taking time for the people of Oakland County. So how are things going with you? Where are you? How's everything with you? And has it been difficult for you personally going through the last couple of months?
Well, Dave, I'm in my basement. The dad gets the basement. We got 5 people here right now, and we got. It's been a blessing in disguise. I've got Mary and I have 4 kids, and we've had more people living in the house with us again than we ever expected, besides a holiday or something. So we've had a graduate student who finished his graduate school. We had a college student who had to come home and finish his college. We've got a high school student up in her room doing her homework. All work is homework now, right? So, and Mary and I are working at home. So we're all here, and I've been blessed. We're all good. My dad's 88. My mother-in-law is 88. They're both okay. I got 2 sons with Crohn's disease, and so they're immunocompromised and at risk, but they're both okay. So I'm, while the world is in a world of hurt, my family is doing okay. So thanks so much for asking.
Well, and we all love your family, and you have a famous family as well. So it's really good to have you with us, and good to see that in your immediate family that you are going through the challenges that all the rest of us are. I'm glad you're doing well. We're counting on the federal government in a big way right now. We have a crisis here in Michigan, and we know that we, in addition to what we're facing right now, that we have an economic crisis looming. And I think one of the biggest questions is, the next biggest questions, we're through PPP and all that, at least for today, but one of the next biggest questions, all those local communities we talked about, is will there be federal help? I mean, we're going to lose sales tax dollars. That means losing state revenue sharing. It's very possible that property values in some of our communities will suffer. This is going to hit our local communities hard. What are your thoughts about the federal government's possible involvement to help? Well, unfortunately, I think we have lost Congressman Levin's connection. Why don't you start again? We lost your connection for just a second. So did you hear the question?
Can you hear me now?
I can. So the question, just to reiterate, our local communities are suffering. How do you feel about the federal government pitching in and helping our communities?
Well, that's been a huge focus of mine, Dave. I led a letter signed by 128 bipartisan members of the House saying that we needed to help local governments directly And then I was one of 4 leaders of the Coronavirus Community Relief Act, which was largely included in the HEROES Act that we passed in the House. So, you know, we put a tremendous amount of resources in there for the states, the counties, and the local governments. And now I'm calling on the Senate to get in the game and take up the HEROES Act and pass it. We gave some aid in the CARES Act, but that all went through the State Stabilization Fund. It was $150 billion, and no money was earmarked for local governments below 500,000 population. Well, in Michigan, there's a grand total of 5 governments like that: Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and Kent counties, and the city of Detroit. None of the 21 local communities in the 9th district are included. So we specifically have $375 billion in the HEROES Act for local governments, counties, and cities and townships, down to the smallest ones. All their fire departments, police departments, EMTs, their budgets are all destroyed, and we need to help all of them to keep our heroes on the job. Public health nurses, people working on the front lines in every way. And so I'm really hopeful the Senate will take it up.
It seems, Representative Levin, that things have slowed down a little bit over in the Senate, and there doesn't seem to be the bipartisan enthusiasm for this legislation out of the House that there were for the CARES Acts before. I know we're not done yet, but is that a fair assessment of where we're at, or would you see something different?
No, it's a fair assessment, but also let's remember this is the 5th package that has been moving through. The other 4 in the end got bipartisan votes, but some started in the House, some in the Senate. The CARES Act originally was something that started in the Senate, and we in the House didn't like it at all. And so we changed it drastically. The Speaker negotiated with Secretary Mnuchin, and we came up with something that we all could support. So I don't think the Senate will be able to stay on the sidelines indefinitely, because our governors and our mayors are calling for help, and it's completely beyond any partisanship, Dave.
Yeah, forgive me, we have limited time. Would you recommend that Leader Pelosi and the Democratic caucus work with them? Are you guys willing to adjust a little bit and make some adjustments to make this thing work?
Oh, we've done it over and over. Absolutely. And you've got, Republicans like our own, speaking of Oakland County, our own Mayor Brian Barnett is the head of the National League of Cities, or one of the national mayors groups, and he's calling on the Senate to act. So it's thoroughly bipartisan, and we're happy to negotiate.
Yeah, and the president, and I don't want to start quoting the president. We don't have enough time to go down that road. But, he's been saying that some of these states, and I think he kind of throws Michigan in the pile, but mainly looking at like Illinois and some of the other states that he said has squandered their money, and he doesn't really want the federal government to come in and bail out the states. I'm sure you've heard that, and my guess is you might have a brief comment about that.
Sure. Well, I think that you can argue about, for example, how a state like Illinois has handled its pension funds in the past. Fair enough. But that's not what this is about. I mean, right now, every state has a budget that is in distress. And this is the greatest economic crisis since the Great Depression. You can't say, like Mitch McConnell did, that the state should simply file for bankruptcy. Economists across the spectrum, from right to left, have said that would lead to a Great Depression of unbelievable proportions.
Well, we've seen in Michigan how much fun municipal bankruptcies are. We have plenty of experience right here in our own backyard. So listen, I hope we get it worked out, because Representative Levin, I don't know where else we go. Really, I don't know where the municipalities go. If we don't get the help from the federal government, there's just no other big pool of money around to help our municipalities, and we're going to have some tough days ahead of us.
You're exactly right. And, that's why, though, it's also important that we included in the HEROES Act $500 billion for the for the states as well. Because as you know, Michigan is a place where we have revenue sharing, and the state has simply not been able to keep up its end of that bargain. And plus, the state provides a significant amount of funding for other local functions like our public schools. So we need to make sure the state budget doesn't get tanked, because that will immediately lead to cuts in our schools, and we just can't afford that.
Congressman Levin, what are you hearing in the political front? We know that Joe Biden is working on a short list of vice presidential candidates. We've heard that Governor Whitmer might be on the list. Are you hearing anything? And you want to put odds on that one?
No, I don't know. You know, Dave, I think Governor Whitmer has done such a tremendous job of handling this crisis completely above the fray, listening to her public health experts. And I think she'd be an amazing candidate for vice president. And, but that's such a personal decision. The vice president really needs to pick someone, A, who can be president, if anything happens to him, and B, that he can work with super effectively and who can help him govern. And that's a matter of chemistry and things like that I don't get any vote in. I think Whitmer would be an amazing choice. I was a big supporter of Elizabeth Warren in the presidential race. I think she'd be an amazing choice. So I'm going to be supportive of him, but I think he's got to make that decision. And there are a lot of great women. He said he's going to choose a woman. I think that's a wise idea. And fortunately, we're blessed with, as we've seen in this crisis, really strong women leading in challenging times in this country. And Michigan's a super strong case in point of that, really.
Representative Levin, thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you with us. The basement cam worked just great. So thank you. I'm sorry we had so little time. We'll do it again. If you would come back, we would really appreciate it. And thank you for your service to the state of Michigan. And one final quick question.
Yes.
The proxy voting in Congress, do you have any quick thoughts on that? I know a lot of debate, and the Republicans have sued.
Yeah, I think that's very unfortunate, because our Rules Committee Chairman, Jim McGovern, and the leadership set this up, and they consulted with the Republicans a lot so that people can vote in a way that doesn't add any power or take away any power from the majority or the minority. It's just a mechanical thing. I'll be voting by proxy tomorrow, and the person who has my proxy has no discretion whatsoever. I have to literally tell them exactly how to vote on every single vote, and all they're doing is mechanically doing the voting. So it's really, with all the great problems we have, I think trying to help the Congress act effectively in this virtual moment shouldn't be a controversy at all. So I think it's
I appreciate that. 30 seconds. Would you like to see them do the same thing over in the Senate? Would it be a safer play for them so they're not traveling so much and putting folks at risk over there?
Yeah, for sure. And, we can't be just looking out for ourselves. For every senator and representative, there are scores of other workers on the Hill, the people who clean the place, the people who set it up, the people who run the data services, and those people need to be safe. We need to worry about their health more than our own. So until all of them can get tested, we need to take care of everybody around us and not just think about ourselves. That's my point.
I've interviewed Sandra Levin, I've interviewed Carl Levin, and now I've interviewed Andy Levin. I feel like a much better radio host now. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Let's chat again real soon.
Good talking to you. I'll talk to you again.
All right. He is Andy Levin. He is Andy Levin, Congressman from the 9th District, as we have just about 30 seconds left here in the Megacast today. Tyler, we're not going to get to all of our words, but we did have one more added to our Corona-19 vocabulary today, and it was a COVID virus 1-2 punch. What is that?
That is taking multiple cleaning efforts to thwart COVID-19 in your home. So start cleaning hard surfaces with soap and water, and then use the disinfectants or the wipes.
You know, in my house, being the bachelor that I am, if I get things wiped down once, that's good. But now I got a lot of work to do to get things cleaned up. And thank you very much for helping keep everything under control here today. It doesn't look like you do that much from behind the scenes, but you do an amazing job. Tyler will be hosting the show along with your partner, Erica, on Friday. Erica's going to be covering the press conference today in Oakland County. We'll have all that on the website later on today. The very first press conference that Dave Coulter has held and the county has held in person since this whole thing took place. So, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks to our radio stations, Lakes FM, the Biff, WAHS 89.5, Avondale Community Radio. Thanks to Birmingham Area Municipal Access and Civic Center TV. Thanks to the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce for use of the Facebook page. And thank you to the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. And above all, thank you very much for being with us. This is the Megacast. We will be back again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on these great radio stations all across Oakland County.